The 2026 Formula One season hasn't even begun, yet the sport is already facing its first major storm. Behind closed doors, Mercedes and Red Bull have discovered a loophole in the brand new engine regulations, one that could give them a serious edge over the rest of the grid. Ferrari, Honda, and Audi are furious, and now the FIA has quietly hinted that this story may be far from over. Let's break down exactly what's happening, how this loophole works, and whether it's about to be shut down. To understand the controversy, we need to start with the rules themselves. Under the 2026 regulations, engines are limited to a compression ratio of 16.1. This figure is measured when the engine is static, cold, not running, and tested at room temperature. On paper, it sounds simple, but this is Formula One, where simplicity rarely survives first contact with engineering genius. Mercedes engineers found a way to play within the rules while pushing far beyond their limits. When their engine is actually running on track, its compression ratio doesn't stay at 16.1. Instead, it climbs to an estimated 18-1. The secret lies in thermal expansion. As the engine heats up, certain internal components expand. Mercedes designed their connecting rod, the piece that links the piston to the crankshaft, to expand in an extremely precise way when hot. That expansion pushes the piston slightly higher inside the cylinder, increasing compression beyond what static testing can detect. More compression means more power. Every combustion cycle becomes more efficient, more aggressive. Estimates suggest this design delivers an extra 10 to 15 horsepower. In everyday terms, that doesn't sound dramatic, but in Formula One, where margins are measured in thousandths of a second, it's enormous. That power advantage could be worth roughly a quarter of a second per lap. Over the course of a full race, that gap can decide championships. Red Bull quickly realized what was happening, thanks in part to an engineer they hired from Mercedes. They've developed a similar solution, though insiders say they're still trailing behind the team that pioneered the concept. For now, Mercedes appears to have the most refined and effective version of this technology. What makes this situation even more fascinating is that Mercedes wasn't operating in secret. From the very beginning, they approached the FIA to confirm that their interpretation of the rules was legal. They laid out their design openly. After reviewing it, the FIA concluded that it did not break the written regulations, and that detail changes everything. The rules specify how compression is measured, not how it must behave during operation. Mercedes read the wording carefully, identified a gap, and exploited it. This is Formula One at its purest, innovation at the edge of legality. But not everyone sees it as fair. Ferrari, Honda, and Audi strongly disagree. They believe this solution violates the spirit of the regulations, even if it technically follows the letter of the law. Ferrari has gone so far as to hint of a formal protest at the season opener in Melbourne. The pressure on the FIA is building. So what happens next? This is where the story takes a critical turn. Journalist Giuliana Cerasuli revealed that the FIA has privately hinted at its concerns. Speaking on her YouTube channel, she quoted the governing body as saying that someone read something in the regulations that wasn't what we wrote. It's a striking admission. The FIA is effectively acknowledging that Mercedes and Red Bull found an interpretation that was never intended. But recognizing a loophole and banning it are two very different things. Cerasuli believes the rule will eventually be closed, but not right away. And the reason comes down to business. Formula One thrives on competition. Total dominance hurts the sport commercially. Fans lose interest, sponsors hesitate, growth slows. As she explained, modern Formula One operates on a simple philosophy. Everyone needs to win sometimes. A bigger, more competitive sport creates a bigger financial pie, and everyone benefits from that. If Mercedes and its customer teams run away with the season because of this engine advantage, it creates problems far beyond the racetrack. Liberty Media won't be happy, rival manufacturers won't be happy, and eventually the FIA will be forced to act. But banning the concept mid-season is incredibly difficult. Mercedes and Red Bull designed their entire 2026 power units around this idea. The engines are already built. The cars are already shaped around those engines. Changing the rules now would require massive redesigns, months of work, and serious questions about fairness. And that's the dilemma facing Formula One as it heads into a season already defined by controversy. Mercedes followed the rules to the letter. They took their design to the FIA, asked whether it was legal, and received a clear answer: yes. Banning it now would mean punishing a team for being smart, not for breaking the rules. And that creates a dangerous precedent. If innovation is discouraged, Formula One loses what makes it special. Instead of outlawing the compression trick outright, the FIA has another option. They could allow other manufacturers to develop similar solutions. Over time, the advantage fades as everyone catches up. The rules stay intact, innovation is rewarded, and the playing field eventually levels itself. It's the cleanest solution on paper. Red Bull's technical director, Ben Hodkinson, has been firm on this point. He insists their car is fully legal in compliance with every regulation. The loophole exists in the rules, and it's available to any team clever enough to find it. But that's where the real issue lies. Finding the loophole is one thing. Being able to use it is something else entirely. Ferrari, Honda, and Audi didn't uncover this interpretation in time. Their 2026 engines were already designed and built around completely different concepts. They can't simply copy what Mercedes has done. Redesigning a power unit at this stage would take months, possibly an entire season. That puts them at a serious disadvantage they can't fix quickly. This opens the door to a possible compromise. The compression ratio trick could be allowed for 2026, then banned from 2027 onward. Mercedes and Red Bull get one season of advantage, but the rules are clarified for the future. No retroactive penalties, no legal chaos. It's a solution that doesn't fully satisfy anyone, but avoids the worst-case scenario. A key moment is coming soon. On January 22nd, the FIA will meet with all engine manufacturers to discuss the situation. That meeting could offer the first real indication of what the governing body plans to do next. Until then, Mercedes and Red Bull remain in a powerful position, holding an advantage their rivals can't easily erase. Whether that edge lasts the entire 2026 season or disappears midway depends entirely on the FIA's next move, and that uncertainty only adds to the drama. The biggest regulation change in Formula One history has delivered controversy before a single competitive lap has even been run. That's what makes this sport so compelling. The question everyone is asking is simple. Will the FIA protect the teams that out-engineered the rules, or will they step in to protect the sport's commercial balance